Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and I hope my audio is working. That would be great. So if someone, oh, okay, wait 1 second. I should realize I did something wrong. How's that? Can everyone hear me? Is everyone good? Testing? Perfect. All right, so, welcome. We are going to be resuming with the second part of the people who come after you. When we left off, you guys, Ezra, you had tried to escape and had been attacked by a being that looked like you, but with black eyes and just a bit different. Slammed your head against a stone. Reginald, you had also encountered a version of yourself, and it had stabbed you. And then everything went blank. And then you all woke. Your eyes opened. And you were all standing in a circle. You notice that the book, the people who come after you, is laying on the ground. A new page opened. Poor Noon is grand, and he is sad. Noon will eat them when they are bad. Noon plays games that have funny rules with the people who come after you. And so we begin. Ezra, And Reginald, you suddenly feel this horrific pain on your chest, as if someone was burning a hot knife into them. And I need each of you, or both of you, to make a wisdom check, please.
Okay, so remind me, this part's just rolling the d20 and adding our modifier, right?
And like a noob, I don't have my chat open, so you'll have to tell me what you got out loud.
Just to clarify, Megan, we're rolling a d20 and then adding our wisdom modifier?
Can't hear you.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Oh, never mind. That's why.
Can you hear us now?
Yep. No,
okay. Yep. Both of us asked, just to be clear, we're rolling a d20?
Yes.
And adding our modifier. Okay. And that was wisdom.
Yes.
A 4.
11 for Ezra.
Reginald, you're going to take another 3 points of damage. Ezra, you're only going to take 1.
And this is a burning feeling in our chest?
Yes.
I'm like pulling at my button-down shirt, actually ripping buttons, and underneath is a white T-shirt that I'm pulling at, trying to untuck, and checking my chest as I'm grasping at it.
And as your skin is revealed, both Carol, Ezra, and how do you pronounce your name again, Chad? Sorry.
That would be
Barrick?
Barrick. Yep.
Barrick. Okay. Barrick, you see etched into his chest is rule number 230. No killing.
And I think as soon as Ezra felt the burning pain in his own chest, he immediately just crumpled like a wet paper towel, just sort of doubling over, sort of letting out this soundless scream of pain. But he doesn't remove his hoodie or the T-shirt that he's wearing, but he just sort of scrabbles at his chest. Does the pain fade eventually, or is it sort of lingering?
Eventually, it feels like a burn does, where it fades ever so slowly, ever so slightly.
Okay, so yeah, I think he would probably at some point start to like remove his wet hoodie from the rain and remove his shirt, and then just sort of reveal this pale, scrawny torso with whatever rule is burned into his chest.
And on your chest, you see rule number 12. Do not leave the house past curfew. So what do you guys do? How do you react?
What the flying fuck is going on right now? And Ezra kind of is looking from your chest, Reginald, to his own chest, and then to Carol and Barrick.
I leave my button-down shirt untucked, unbuttoned, having ripped at least half or more of the buttons out. My T-shirt is untucked. And was this like bloody carving, Megan?
It almost just looks like it was carved, then cauterized. You do not see any blood dripping down.
Okay. So, yeah, I just kind of keep my shirt held up and just kind of running my hands across what I imagine is almost like raised scar tissue at this point. And I just reach into my pocket, letting my shirt fall down. I reach into my pocket and I pull my flask out again. But I don't say anything.
Besides the burns on their chest, like, how is Ezra doing? Because the last we knew, he was being pummeled to the ground. Like, how's his face and stuff? Is he look
fine?
normal?
Yeah, nothing looks visibly wrong with him. And Ezra, you could feel in your skull, you could feel it cracking, you could feel it breaking when this thing was slamming your head against the rock. But now, as you stand in this circle, you feel nothing.
So I think as the burning sensation starts to fade and Ezra sort of gathers up, he doesn't take up his shirt. He just pulls on the hoodie kind of over his burnt torso. He starts to shake, and he's looking, at each of you, and he just says, what is this? We can't leave. We can't. And you can see tears starting to gather at the corner of his eyes, but it's not tears of sorrow, obviously. It is just, he is so afraid. His pale, dirty skin is even paler than you've probably seen it in the brief time you've known him. He looks almost like he's on the border of having a serious panic attack at this point.
So at that, I think Carol would rush over to him and may I? And she'd be pointing to his chest.
I mean, I don't know. What are you gonna do? I mean, it's a burn on my chest, Miss Friesen. And he kind of slowly, awkwardly lifts up the hoodie just to show you, kind of uncomfortable with it, but he's seen you, Dr. Reginald, before, so he knows that you know what you're doing.
And she's gonna kind of reach into her pack, and she's gonna pull out some, ointment, and burn ointment a little bit, and the bandage, and she's going to try to administer to him, give him a heal.
And immediately, as you're healing Ezra, you blink, and suddenly it isn't Ezra in front of you, but it's a girl who has tears streaming down her face, and she's holding up what looks to be a cut on her arm. Behind her you can see a fallen bike. And she looks up to you, and she says, "Please, I think I cut myself."
Oh, there, sweetie, it's okay. So she's saying this to him, and she starts looking at the arm, and let me see that. It'll be okay. It's okay. And she's kind of caressing her hair a little bit, patting her head. Here, sit down. It'll be okay. And starts dressing that wound.
"Thanks, miss." And as you're kind of wrapping up this wound, you hear her begin to whisper. And you see behind her there's a version of you. And the version of you puts one hand on the girl's shoulder, and if you were to look up, you would see that this version of you has white eyes, translucent skin, ghostly almost. And as a child talks, so does the version of you, in sync, in unison.
"It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay."
And you just blink again, and there's Ezra.
And I think Carol would actually have, at the sight of the other her, would have kind of leapt back a little bit. I'm assuming, imagining she was squatting in front of Ezra, and she would have kind of fallen backwards in kind of a shock, if you will. And then when she sees Ezra again and that the vision has passed, she kind of shakes her head and kind of looks at him quizzically, like, did you see that too?
Did Ezra say anything?
No. You would see Carol's eyes might have glazed over for just a second, but not for very long.
And he almost looks, it's weird, despite the panic, he almost looks slightly offended that you jumped back like that. But when you ask him that question, the offended look falls off his face and he says, I didn't see anything, Miss Friesen. Are you okay? And he kind of pulls the hoodie back down over the bandages that you just put on and kind of reaches out a hand to help you up as he kind of clambers to his feet.
And she kind of just shakes her head a little bit and, yeah, I'm all right. How about you? Are you okay?
I mean, all things considered, the burn feels a little better, I guess. And he looks over at you, Reginald, and then over at you, Barrick, and then back to you, Carol, and just says, it'd be really nice to know what the fuck is going on here. You know what I mean? This is really, I feel like I'm saying fuck a lot, but this is really fucked up. I mean, this is really fucking fucked up. You know what I mean? And he just kind of lapses into silence after that.
You need to lock it up. And he reaches out to you with the flask.
And he actually looks at the flask and then he looks at you and he says, you pushed that police officer into the hole. And he looks over at you, Barrick, just very slowly. Why?
Do we even know that was actually a police officer?
And he actually takes a moment and he says, well, no, I guess. But
Did you see what I saw?
Yes.
The hole in the kitchen. You've seen the book. You've seen the bizarre things happening around here.
But how do you know that he's involved in all of this? You just assumed that because he came to the house, he was somehow a part of it?
Where I come from, you need to learn to make snap decisions in the moment and stand by your decisions. I made a snap decision. I stand by it, and I will not be judged for it.
Well,
at least I didn't run.
Yeah, well, at least I didn't kill anybody.
Not entirely sure I did either.
It doesn't matter. And he go ahead.
At least tonight.
And he kind of ignores the flask and looks back at you, Carol. He says, what do you think we should do? You seem like you're, and he looks at the other two, relatively sane. What do you think we should do, Miss Friesen?
And at that, I think Carol would, she'd look around the room. Where actually are they at this point?
You're in the kitchen, beside the hole.
And the hole's still there.
Yes.
She looks around. She seems kind of lost, actually. And I think at this point she would head to the cupboard and she would get herself a glass and she would find where she'd stashed her liquor, and she'd pour herself a nice big shot and down it. And turns back to Ezra and she's like, I haven't got a clue. I don't know what's going on.
Reginald just gives you a nod and kind of raises his flask in salute, takes another pull, passes it over to Barrick, who has yet to refuse the flask.
And Barrick at this point takes it. And you can see that as opposed to the rest of you who are sort of like freaking out, he seems to be fairly even keel. I don't understand why you're so so scared of this. I've done this a lot, and I understand exactly what I mean. Look, I understand it is a scary thing, don't get me wrong, Ezra. But there's a reason why we're here, right? To investigate what the fuck's wrong with this house. And he like brings his burly frame over and picks up the large camera, and he's like, I intend to be the one to find out what that is. Now, he looks to Carol. You look like you've seen more ghosts than I've ever encountered in the last, 2 hours? It's got to be 2 hours. So, what did you see? I want to know everything. And he like pulls out a small notebook in the other hand and like prepares to like take down some notes as he sets the camera down on like the kitchen island.
Beric, when you set down the camera, you hear this noise. And you recognize that noise immediately.
What the fuck? What the fuck is that? No, that can't be. And he like picks up the camera and like starts looking at it because he knows that sound of like the shutters and like all of the inner workings of that camera. And he's like, no, that can't be. He starts picking it up and like looking at the lens, looking through the viewfinder, trying to just see whatever could possibly be making that noise. I didn't touch that. Everybody saw it. I didn't touch it, right? No one.
You look through the viewfinder and you see a chair. A chair in a dark room that is illuminated from the top. You recognize this chair, this room. And then it's gone.
Yeah. So he sees this, and immediately he just like takes the camera and shoves it across the island. Like, no, fuck. I didn't take that fucking picture. I didn't take that.
That's a sane reaction that you're having right now, Beric. Welcome to the party, ass.
Listen, you little dipshit.
What happened? What did you see?
Nothing. That's exactly what I saw. I saw fucking nothing.
Right, and that's why you shoved your giant ass camera halfway across the island.
I want to know what that is. I want to know what did that. Who the fuck touched my camera? Understand? I want to know.
Miss Friesen, all of us have come here from our own respective backgrounds to your house. We're all having these bizarre reactions and occurrences in your house. Is there anything that you've neglected to tell us, Miss Friesen, about your house?
And with that, Carol would pour herself another shot. And she would turn to you and say, I moved in 2 days ago. Nothing happened until, and she would point to Beric, he arrived. This is him. I'm sure of it.
Oh, I'm to blame now.
Well, wait a second, Miss Friesen. That may not exactly be true. And he actually looks over to you, Reginald, and says, Reginald, when I first ran into you, there was a broken picture. You broke a picture. Was that because of some weird thing you saw, or did you just break a picture because you're you?
I don't know what you're implying, that I'm seeing things that aren't there, son.
I mean, aren't we
I
all?
knocked that picture off the wall, as I told you.
You just knocked a picture off the wall, just at random.
These halls are relatively small.
Mm-hmm.
My shoulders are broad.
I noticed.
I walked into the wall and knocked the picture down. There's nothing more to that story.
DM or GM or whatever your title is in this game, is there some kind of check that I can make to see if he's telling the truth?
Yeah, you could make charisma.
Oh boy, I have no modifiers in that. Let's see what happens. I rolled a 6.
You can't tell whether...
If it matters, just for fun, I rolled a 2 on my charisma.
Oh.
Hey.
All right. So you know something's wrong, obviously. But you're not sure what. But he did not knock down.
I see Ezra, the way he's looking at me with narrowed eyes. And I slam my flask down. You want me to tell you that I saw images moving in a still picture? You want me to tell you that I saw flashback images to my time in the war on a picture in the hall of a house that I've never been to before? Is that what you want to hear, Ezra?
And Ezra actually quirks this slight smile and looks over to you, Carol, and says, see, it didn't start when Barrick arrived. It started when he did. And he points at Reginald.
You keep that up and you don't knock that shit-eating grin off your face. I'm going to knock it off your face for you, son.
I don't understand why you're so upset. Like, I'm sorry for whatever traumatic experiences you may have had. I really am. But this is good. That means this started from the moment we entered this house. We're establishing a timeline. He looks over at you, Barrick. It's like investigating, like an investigative journalist, figuring out a timeline of when these things started.
Do you want to be choked out again?
I mean, this time I'll probably stab you since you knocked me out last time. And he pulls out the pocket knife and kind of flips it out. I mean, it's just dimpy little pocket knife. Okay. He's like, you are not coming anywhere near me, Irishman.
Right. Listen to me, man. Listen.
I am. Trust me, I am.
We're all... I think it's high time we stop the fucking hostilities, right? We're all a little freaked out. I understand that right now. But we need to keep level heads and we can investigate this properly.
I am all for that. And now we have an idea of when these events started. When we entered the house. Not just you, not just me, not just Reginald. It started since we entered the house. Now we need to figure out why. Right?
Right.
We also know that there is apparently rules to whatever game is being played. At a bare minimum, and I kind of thump my chest and then kind of wince a little bit. There are at least 230 rules. We know 2.
That's a lot of rules. That's a lot of rules. I wonder... Oh, go ahead.
And when they mentioned the game and the rules, Carol immediately looks around for the book. See if the book is around.
The book is. The book is there where it was left on that same page where you had it.
She's going to flip the page.
flip to the next one.
Yeah.
You in fact see that there is another page that has been added. When people who come after you play their funny games with Noon, they divide in 2, 3, 4, 5, and so many more. All are alive.
Carol would point to this. She's like, what does this even mean? Like, and she'll like kind of show the rest of them. Like, do you guys understand this at all? What is going on here?
The closest thing I can understand is dismemberment, maybe? I mean, we did watch that police officer.
Supposed police officer, according to G.I. Joe over here.
Oh, fuck.
Do you have a home phone here, Miss Reason?
Whose phone is that?
It can't be mine. Mine's broken. And didn't yours fall on the floor, Miss Reason? Where is this coming from?
The sound is coming from the hole in the floor.
Fantastic.
I am not going down there.
We gotta fish it out somehow, right? We gotta fish it out somehow. I mean, or we could just not touch it and
do I still have the gun, Megan?
Yep.
Okay. So I imagine it's tucked back in my waistband. I reach back, I pull the gun out. I look at everybody and I vault down into the hole.
When you go down there, you see the police officer dismembered in the same position he was, but in his breast pocket, you can see the light of a phone as it rings.
I look around, keeping the gun at the ready. And then I reach out and take the phone from the officer's pocket. And is it like a smartphone or like a flip phone or?
It's a flip phone. Kind of looking like the one that Ezra had that he broke.
Does it have a caller ID on the closed phone?
Unknown caller.
I glance up at the three of them looking down at me. I flip the phone open and hold it to my ear.
There were so many people, Mr. Cherry. So many. They all died because of you. Why would you do that, Mr. Cherry? Please, can I see my mom again? My dad? Please? Unless you want to play a game with me. Noon loves that. Should we play hopscotch? I think that would sound like fun.
Click. I think you guys would have seen Reginald's face grow ashen. You would see the gun in one hand and the phone in the other just to start kind of shaking. He closes the phone suddenly. And kind of squeezes it. But I imagine in its closed form, it's not really breaking. Maybe there's just that little bit of a creak of strained plastic. The gun's still shaking in his hand, a finger on the trigger. And I don't remember, were we able to just easily reach up and grab the edge to get out of here, or was there something we climbed on? Or
No, it was only about like 6 feet up. But you feel a slight pressure on the back of your ankle. And is anyone looking down into the hole at Reginald?
Absolutely.
Keeping an eye on him for sure. Mm-hmm.
You guys see out of one of these divots, this oil, this mold, this clump of hair rise up and begin to wrap itself around Reginald's ankle.
I immediately get over into the edge of the hole, and I'm like, you need to get out now. You need to get out now.
Reginald, you need to get out of the hole right the fuck now.
I'm reaching for his hand to try to pull him out.
I dropped the phone, and with that hand, I immediately reach up for Barrick.
I need you to make a dex check, please.
Oh boy. I'm going to rely on Army Green. I'm going to roll my green D20. Got a +1 to dex, making it a 12.
As you reach up and you kind of shift towards the thing, or towards the opening, you feel a tug on your leg. And you don't fall down, but you kind of lose your balance a little bit. And you hear, and this time all of you hear the voice.
That's not how you play hopscotch.
So, kind of slipping down and hearing that voice. Is it coming from the phone, or is it coming from just everywhere?
It's just coming from everywhere.
I turn around with the gun held, kind of looking for something to point at. And then all right.
For God's sakes.
All right. And I tuck the gun back in my waistband. All right. You want to play games? You want to play games? Let's play. Let's play hopscotch. Hey, guys. Looks like we're playing hopscotch.
And with the sound of him kind of losing it like this, Carol would down that glass that she poured, and she would search in the drawer for the biggest butcher knife that she has.
And Reginald, this thing had tugged on you, but now it has loosened its grip again, and it just has this kind of firm hold on your, we'll say, your right foot.
All right. If that's not how you play hopscotch, how do you play? I don't see any chalk. I don't see any stones. I don't see any markings on the ground.
If I told you all the rules, that wouldn't be much fun, now would it, Mr. Cherry?
Hey, Barrick. So we should get him the fuck out of there, right? We should get him the fuck out of there right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, but fuck.
I have an idea. Hang on a second. So Ezra pulls off his hoodie, his sodden hoodie, and he says, can we try to throw this down to him? You just have to convince him to fucking grab the thing.
We tried pulling him out, right? And the thing grabbed onto him. So let's be smart here.
Try harder this time.
Yeah, try harder this time.
Fucking A. All right, fine. Shit. All right. And he goes to try and reach for Reginald again, right? This time, though, he looks over to both of you. While I'm trying to do that, maybe one of you should look in the drawers and see if they've got any chalk. Something to draw with. Because if we're going to play these fucking games, we're going to play them right.
Here, and Ezra kind of pushes his hoodie into your hand, Barry. He's just tie this around your arm or something for him to grab on that isn't your hand. So if he gets pulled in, you don't get pulled in right away. And he looks back to you, Carol. Do you have any chalk? I mean, I don't know what you need to play hopscotch.
Yeah, and at this point, Carol's kind of frantically opening up drawers, searching for anything that, a marker, chalk, anything that we could draw lines of hopscotch.
And so, yeah, Barrick is going to try and pull Reginald out of the hole to allow us to play the game on at least an even footing, so he's not in the hole. And I think he's starting to give in, just like Reginald is. He's starting to give in to openly having a conversation with this thing. And he says, all right, look, we'll play your damn games. The thing is, he can't play hopscotch in the hole. So if you'll allow me, I'd like to pull him out and let us play the right way. Is that a yes?
Fuck no, Barrick. Jesus fucking Christland.
I'm looking around in this basement area. For anything that could be used. While I'm looking around, I'm going to try to do two things. One, I'm going to try to very slowly move my right foot and just see what happens.
When you move your foot, you can feel the slight tug of this hair that has wrapped around you. A little bit of resistance.
All right. That's kind of what I was checking for. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bend down to the cop and I'm going to start checking his pockets, thinking, sometimes cops have to, I don't know, in the movies I've seen, cops have to draw chalk outlines of victims at crime scenes. I'm checking his breast pockets. I'm checking his belt, his pants pockets, looking for a marker, chalk, anything.
You do, in fact, find some chalk. And as you're looking, your hand kind of goes into one of his side pockets, and you feel something wet, something fleshy.
Reluctantly, I'm going to pull it out.
As you grab onto it, and as soon as you feel how it moves, you know exactly what this is, though you've probably never touched one before. Boom, 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 boom.
It was in his pocket. Is it small?
Yes, very small. Like and when you pull it out, it's not human. Some sort of animal heart.
Is it like wet because of it's bloody, or it's just moist?
It's not bloody, but it's just covered in the same ichor and the same goo that is covering the floor and the hair.
All right. So I've got this piece of chalk in one hand. I've got a blackened beating heart in my other hand. And now, with a glance up at the others, I look for a clear spot on the floor to draw, to the best of my recollection, a hopscotch grid. Sorry. Is there room to do this down here?
Yeah, and even you find yourself able to move your right leg.
I don't think at this point, once the heart is in my hand, I imagine I just automatically start looking for space to draw this, and I probably don't even notice that I'm suddenly have freedom of movement. And I think I'm holding this heart. I don't even close my hand around it. Everybody can see it. And I'm just kind of holding it to the side as I crouch down and I draw from I'm a retired battalion commander. I don't have any kids of my own. I never played it, but I'm not dumb. I know what hopscotch is, I think. So I draw kind of a square, maybe a foot on each side. And then I draw 2 squares above that. And then another single square. And I repeat that pattern so it's basically square, 2 square, square, 2 square for like 3 sets. And I kind of look up at the others like, is this right?
I mean, it looks right. Miss Reason, I'm really sorry, by the way. And Ezra turns to the sink and just full on just retches and then just vomits into the sink, seeing Reginald just loosely gripping this beating small animal heart. He's just like, oh God, oh God. Yeah, that looks great, Reginald. Oh God.
Wait.
Oh, fuck no. Nope. Ah, shit. And he Barrick like turns his attention away from Reginald now and like goes back to the camera and checks the shutter again. And I think this time he's also kind of bringing the camera back over because he wants to get pictures of this evidence, and like he wants to see this. And if he can take pictures of what Reginald's doing, they might get a better idea of what is needed to attack this thing that might be hunting them.
When you look through the shutter, you see the same scene that you saw before. The chair, the light, basement room. In the chair is a silhouette, a figure, slumped, hands and feet bound in the chair. And then it's gone, the image.
At seeing the image, he says nothing. He is deadly silent. He begins to walk over to the group. And you can tell that his big frame is starting to sweat. This what looks to be like no nonsense, big brawny cameraman is now sweating profusely, but he says nothing as a word of fear.
So that's how you're gonna play it, huh? I see.
And he like mumbles that to himself, shakes it off, and brings the camera back over to Reginald. All right then, let's see you play hopscotch, I suppose.
So I got the squares. And I've got a stone.
Right.
I throw it, then what?
You gotta throw it, and then and Ezra kind of like drags himself over to the hole, wiping vomit from his face. You gotta throw it, and then you hop to the square where it lands, basically. Also, Barrick, I'm gonna take my hoodie back, and he takes his hoodie back from you, Barrick, and pulls it back on his body. Yeah, just throw the thing, and then you hop to that square.
Of all the goddamn playing fuck around, damn kitty king, just mumbling to himself. He's just spent 20 years trying to be the picture of refinement and discipline and stopping soldiers from playing grab ass and joking around when they should be concentrating and being on duty. And now he's the one that has to play a children's game. And I think I would just give it a toss about halfway down the hopscotch grid. And I just imagine this as his heart hits on the basement floor. And then I kind of wait just a moment to see if there's any voice or anything else. And then I hop 1 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot, 2 foot. And then I stop with the heart down on the ground in front of me.
I think you have to pick it up.
Is this a one-person game?
Not usually. And Ezra's kind of looking around in the hole to see if he can spot anything apart from this awful tendril of hair and Reginald.
Do you need help on that?
Not hearing anything. I guess I reach down and I pick up the heart and I toss it to the end. Surprised you don't have a sound effect for that. And then I hop 1 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot, 2 foot, and I stop again at the end of the path. I bend over and I pick up the heart.
You hear nothing. Nothing happens. The heart actually has stopped beating.
Wait, the heart stopped beating?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that means you can come out of the hole now? Maybe?
Yeah, is it over?
I look at the now still heart in my hand. I look up at them. I reach into my other pocket where soldier always has a handkerchief. And I lay the heart in the handkerchief, fold over the corners, and then stick the whole thing in my pocket. I walk over to the edge, and very calmly and slowly, I reach up
Yep.
to grab the edge.
When you turn, before you grab the edge, you see a version of yourself standing in the corner of the room. This person looks similar to Carol's version, looks different from the other version that had stabbed you. White eyes. Translucent skin. And is wearing your army uniform. And the version of you stands at attention and gives you a salute. But then you see crimson blood coming from his chest. It drips down. But he doesn't make a move. He doesn't move. He stays at attention with the blood pouring down from his chest.
The sight of a bleeding soldier, unfortunately, is not a new sight for Reginald Cherry. In fact, it's an all too familiar sight. Though admittedly, I never thought I would see myself. But a soldier always returns a salute. And I snap to attention, turn to face this other version of myself, and offer a crisp salute in return.
At that, the version of you stands at ease, hands behind his back, continues to bleed, but makes no move.
Slowly starting to reach back up for the edge again, but eyes still on this other version of me.
Yeah, right there.
I just mutter, I have a feeling we're going to meet sooner rather than later.
I think.
And then I nod.
Yeah. I think that Barrick, in that moment, right, is watching you look off into the distance into this hole. Like, what is going on? Like, why are you not paying attention? Like, I'm right here for you. And he's like, are you right, Mr. Cherry? I'm right here for you. Come on, you can't stay in that hole all night. It's not gonna happen. I'll pull you out.
I'm fine. Put me up.
All right, hey, come on. And he pulled.
Well,
This mystery just keeps getting better and better, right? I suppose.
well, one thing's clear. We're gonna have to play its games.
Uh-huh.
What else your book got there, Mrs. Friesen?
And with that, she would look at the book and hesitantly, go to turn the page and kind of stop. She doesn't really want to do it. And she gives a deep, deep sigh. And she flips the page.
And it has become customary at this point. There is a new page added. The people who come after you sometimes make Noon's favorite clues. If you lose the game, Noon eats you and the people who come after you.
I think after reading that, Carol will just slam the book shut and kind of fling it away from her a little ways. It's just like, shit, no! What the hell is going on here?
No, don't. And Ezra will actually kind of run after the book and pick it up and say, this is the only thing that has been providing us anything close to clues about what's going on here. As ridiculous and stupid as this is, we cannot afford to lose this book. I'll hold on to it. And he kind of like tucks it under his shoulder, or under his armpit almost. He says, so, Reginald, what else did you see down there? You played hopscotch really well for someone who's never done it before, but what else did you see down there?
Well, it's a principle we have in the military called adapt and overcome.
So you saw someone adapt and overcome down there? Or...
No, that's what I did, you smart ass.
I mean, I was just asking for some clarification, Mr. Cherry. Something that I was
Want to know what I saw?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw myself.
That's what I was thinking. And Ezra actually seems almost excited as he opens the book, and he's going to flip back actually to the page before. I think it's the page before this one. Megan, is it still there? The one where it talks about the people who come after you, and I think it was 1, 2s, and 3s, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he flips back to that page and he shows the others. He says, "So I don't know if you saw, but when I tried to run away from the house, and he looks at you, Carol, like a sane person, I was attacked by a version of myself with dark eyes, right? And Reginald, you just said that you saw a version of yourself down in the hole. So when the people who come after you play their funny games with Noon, they divide to 2, 3, 4, and 5, meaning and he closes the book, like different versions of ourselves. You know what I mean? Like different, maybe like doppelgangers or parts of ourselves. So I don't know necessarily what that means, but those are the things we're going to encounter, right? Are parts of ourselves. What did this other you do, Reginald, when you were down there?
It was me, but it wasn't. The skin was paler. You could almost see through it. The eyes were blank. It saluted me. But it was also, I was also bleeding profusely and continuously from what we would call in the war a sucking chest wound. It's a sure sign with death.
And Ezra kind of stops, could this be like a, I know this sounds insane. Everything sounds insane right now. Could this be like a potential future or something like that? Something that didn't happen. Obviously, you don't have a sucking chest wound of death or whatever, but this version of you did. Maybe that's what these are. They're potentials of us, I guess. I don't know, but we have to, and he holds up the book again, we have to hang on to this because otherwise we would have no idea what any of this means. Not that we do know what any of this means, but you know what I'm saying.
You know, son, I think for the first time, you're starting to show the rest of us you're not as stupid as you were acting before.
I will take that as a compliment. Thank you.
You should. Now, this is a big house. And we've pretty much spent most of our time here in the kitchen and in this, well, quite literal hellhole. I don't know if this Noon character wants everything to take place here, or if we should maybe check out the rest of the house.
When you mention checking out the rest of the house, Barrick is actually inclined to do that. He is like, the best way we can figure out how to solve this would be to investigate the rest of the house. If you want my opinion on that, maybe we can find out more of these events that happened with, what would you call it? Noon. Yeah. Maybe she doesn't necessarily want us just to spend time here. Maybe there's other pieces in this house that mean something to her.
I think Noon is a he. Actually, he's been referred to as a he in the book. I think we should definitely, if we're going to do this, which doesn't seem like we have a whole lot of options, we should stay together. Number one, and number two, that the rule that was burned into my chest mentioned a curfew. We can't leave the house as long as they're after curfew. But when is the curfew?
That's something maybe we should find out.
I agree.
As long as we're talking about it, the girl seems to be the only one that continues to talk to us, right? I mean, I'm not the only one that's heard it.
I've only heard the girl's voice.
So that's why I'm concerned that if we don't find out who this Noon person is, he may get the jump on us before we can find out any more about him. And I don't want to be that. I've never been the one to let people get the jump on me. I'd rather be the other way around.
Apparently not. We just have to keep in mind, like we learned with Reginald's situation, that we don't know the rules to these games. We don't necessarily know what's going to happen. So no matter what, it's going to be a surprise, which is why I think we should, I guess, stay together and try and help each other when one of us gets pulled into these situations, whatever this is. Let me look at the book, and he's actually going to open the book and see if is there a new page potentially.
No, there is not.
Okay, well, that's a good thing, right? No new pages, no new crazy shit. All right. Where should we start? Miss Friesen, you've been in this house for a little longer than the rest of us. Where do you suggest we go next?
And at that, she kind of looks around and I guess points down the hallway and turns to Barrick and says, "I'll follow you."
Right. Well, in my experience, most places like this, most places that have probably experienced murder, because this is not going to be something that comes from something that wouldn't have experienced torture or murder or malice. this, whatever this creature is, it doesn't abide by that. So we're dealing with something darker here. I want to check the rooms upstairs. The better you can find out about the people who lived here before, the better we might get an opportunity to at least know what we're dealing with.
All right.
I'm assuming there is an upstairs, Megan.
Yes, there is. Carol, you actually know that there's actually both an upstairs and a maid's quarters in this house. This is very old, when they still had maids.
And is the maid's quarters upstairs, or is it on this floor?
It is upstairs. Well, it's kind of like halfway in between. There's an upstairs, and then you know that there's a bunch of rooms, and to get to the maid's floor, you have to go upstairs. Then there's a door, and then a little half down step, and then this area.
Okay. Yeah, she would point towards, like, further down the hall. There's the set of stairs going up, and she would point towards the stairs and motions to Beric. After you.
Right, and Beric would have his camera. He would have his camera at the ready. And he would actually start talking, I think, openly to the spirit, right? Whatever has been plaguing him. So this big, you can imagine this big, burly, bearded cameraman, like, all right, so we're going to go upstairs now, get away from the haunted hole. I'd like to at least try and open up the realm of conversation between us, right? That would be nice. My name is Beric. I assume you are someone who lived here before, yeah? Someone who maybe died here before?
And while he's talking, Carol would kind of glance over at Ezra, kind of like raise her eyebrows and shrug her shoulders. What's this guy doing?
And Ezra would actually kind of lean over to you, Carol, and just say very quietly, every time that man opens his mouth, I want to piss myself.
Before you get an answer, perhaps, we are going to take just a 5-minute bio break, just to get drinks, get whatever you need. Change of pants, whatever.
Oh, changing the pants will certainly happen.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Thanks everyone in the chat. We'll see you in a couple minutes. aren't you? There we go. So, Barrick, to your requests, your talkings, you receive nothing but silence. You receive nothing but the creaks of the house, the wind through the old wood. But other than that, there is silence.
None of this is ideal.
It's the only clue we got to go on. So
They're saying in the chat that they can't hear.
Yeah, I just fixed it. Whoops.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So start again.
We
Hooray!
solved it, guys. We made it out of the house. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great session. Goodbye.
And we win.
Yeah. Sorry,
Noon
guys.
was Barrick all along.
Yeah.
Barrick murdered the house.
We'll rewind.
Yeah, sorry, I too many buttons to push.
Oh, many buttons.
Okay, so you guys are met with silence. Yeah.
This situation sure isn't ideal. We should look for scary shit. There we go.
exactly. Let's speed that up. And I think it's best if we start with the one thing we know. There's at least a girl in the house. Let's see if there's a child's room. Something. That's the only thing I got to go on.
Sounds good. We should definitely stay together though. No splitting up and looking.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Like all those idiots and like all those horror movies. Like, why are you splitting up? That's easier for the monster to pick you off one by one, right? So stupid. So stupid.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll stay together.
Yeah. We're gonna stay together. Right. Let's go.
And head towards the, I guess, the first door we come to, and I'll let Barrick open up the door.
Yeah. Barrick is intrigued at this point. He's intrigued and he's interested and he's definitely a little bit freaked out. But he is probably going to be the first one to shove his hand through a door to make sure that like something is going to be, on the other side. So he goes to the first door up on this second floor. And I think, just out of precaution, he raps on it, even though he knows, like, he knows nobody else is here. But he knocks on the door just out of, like, that superstition of maybe, right? Like, tap, tap. What the fuck?
Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe we should just move on to the next door. Maybe it's nothing.
No, hold on.
Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
I'm gonna.
Do I need to answer every phone that rings and every door that knocks?
I'm gonna open
I
it.
mean, better you than us, right? I mean, yeah, go for it, Barrett. Go for it.
I'm gonna open it. And he takes he takes the handle and he tries to push it open.
And it opens. And you hear the squeak of the door as it opens into what looks like a sitting room. There's chairs, tables, couches, maybe what looks like a piano, but all of it is covered over with these white sheets.
Oh, he has been around a number of like white sheeted rooms and crime scenes and evidence reports, and so his eyes dart around the room, immediately around the side of the door, because he heard a knock. I know he heard a knock. And so does he see anything on the other side of the door?
Carol will be like, what is it? What do you see?
You see what I had described, this room with
full of
white sheets. But then in your ear you hear,
If you don't tell them, I will. Noon loves honesty.
Oh, no. Don't you play that game with me, little girl. Don't you play that.
If you don't tell them, I will. If you don't tell them, I will.
Fuck, just shut up, will you?
Nobody's talking, Barrick. You're just screaming like a fucking madman right now. What's going on? What's shit? Fuck, damn.
Skeletons in the closet.
Breathing heavy, and he's starting to sweat profusely as he's holding on to this handle. And I imagine that this handle is so old that it actually creaks and cracks under his like grip.
Nothing.
And Carol would reach out actually tentatively and touch his back. Are you okay? Eric, what's going on?
Are you sure you don't want to tell them? I think you should. They're your friends, and we love our friends.
He kind of moves into the room, says nothing in response, and he slumps down onto one of these chairs. One of these pieces of furniture. I imagine it probably is a chair. He doesn't take the sheet off the chair. He just slumps down into the chair with a thud. His frame just...
Have you ever oh, fuck. No. I can't do it. I can't do it. Because if I tell them, but they don't know me. They don't know who I am. It wouldn't matter if I said something. It wouldn't matter if I said anything. Fine.
Tell us what? You're not making any sense, Barrick.
Right. No, it's fine. Look, let me just explain something to you, right? Sometimes a man does things, right? To get ahead in life. he makes certain decisions that he sometimes regrets. Yeah? And those things can't always be told to people. I've been hiding for a long time, and no, you can't, no. Look, my life is my life. What I did was special. What I did was meaningful. What I did was important for me. But you can't know about it.
Did you kill a guy or something? Is that what you're trying to say right now? I mean, I don't understand, Eric. Of all the times to have like an existential crisis or whatever the fuck is going on right now with you.
If I did, what if I did?
I mean, so did he, and he gestures over to Reginald. I mean, okay, we're all probably gonna die tonight. I mean, just fucking say it, man. If it's gonna help us get the fuck out of here, fucking say it.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna fix something real quick.
Eric. Whoops. Started doing your accent. Beric.
Your good friend, Beric.
Beric. Look at me. You're hearing voices.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
You're being taunted and played with about something you've done. Right? You've done something in your past that you're not proud of.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I heard on the phone. That voice, that little girl, was bringing me to task for something I did. It was a wartime. Things happen. You appear to have your own thing.
Yeah, I do.
And it appears as though these figures are bringing whatever those secrets are to light. Whether we want them to or not. And as I'm saying this, I'm actually looking at Carol and Ezra. It seems as though all the secrets are going to come out tonight.
So you might as well just tell us and get it over with. Rip off the Band-Aid. It can't be any worse than what we've already seen and done tonight.
Yes.
Are you gonna tell them? Are you gonna tell them how you killed them? Killed them, you killed them, you killed them, you killed them.
No, I didn't kill them. No, I didn't kill them.
You killed them? What? What are you saying, Beric?
You killed them, you killed them, you killed them.
And he, at this point, gets so angry because he knows what he did, but he didn't do that. He didn't do what she's saying. And he takes this chair and he flings it across the room. I didn't fucking kill them, you hear me?
Jesus!
Pictures, so many pictures, so many pictures.
Yes. Fine. You fucking banshee. And he gets down on his knees at this point. He is on his knees, practically just fucking banshee.
Yes, all right. I did it. I murdered people. I did. I can't say that I'm proud of it, but yes.
Jesus,
Murder.
man.
My past.
When? Where?
You become. Ah, fuck. My line of work, I was around crime and investigation and everything for a long time. And after a while, you start seeing it. You start understanding that sometimes it's a means to an end, right? I wanted a job. I saw fit that I could claim it for myself. I wanted an anchor position at the station. They said that that my rival, Edgar, Ed was a fucking shit of a person. He literally just drew me up the wall. The most brown-nosing bastard I've ever met in my life. And of course, he gets the anchor position. I can't do that. Can't live that life. I worked too damn hard to get that position. I did some things that I'm not proud of. Not proud of it at all. I spent my whole life tracking killers, not doing that. And, yeah, no. I'm not proud of it, and I'm not gonna fucking, I promise I'm not gonna fucking try to kill you. Right? No. But yes.
That's not all, that's not all.
What else do you want from me?
Going.
What else do you want from me, you banshee?
Pictures. Show them the pictures.
Fuck. What do you want to? You want to play 20 questions with these fucking people? What kind of game do you want to play?
If you don't show them the pictures, I will.
And he looks around the room at this point, Megan. And is there anything in this room that he could possibly show them pictures on? Like,
there's not
like a projector maybe in the room, or like could he look around the room and like try to find stuff that maybe he could like share it on?
No, this is a room that very much obviously predates any sort of technology
right, okay,
or anything like that.
Okay. So I have an idea then, right? His camera is fairly modern, and he probably has some way to share it, right? So he plugs in.
He's like, fucking hell, I swore. Fucking hell.
He looks at the three of them.
What I am about to show you. You promise me that you will not share this with another human soul when we leave here.
When we leave here.
Yeah, that's not exactly a foregone conclusion there.
I plan on leaving this place.
Sure, we all do. Doesn't mean we're going to.
He takes out a small flash drive.
Show us what you got to show us.
He takes out a small little, I assume like a little flash drive or a little plug-in, and plugs it into the side of the camera. And I think it's kind of like a small projection screen, right? Like it allows for projection coming from the camera. So he plugs up this little attachment, sets it on and then sets the camera probably on the coffee table in the middle of the room, covered by a sheet. On the front of in front of it is probably the fireplace and maybe like a mantle that has like a drapery over the front of it. And he begins to hit. He's like, fucking hell, you little banshee. If you don't get off my back by doing this, I'll never let this go. And he hits the play button to like start playing the pictures.
I need you to make a wisdom check, please.
And that's a D20 plus my wisdom bonus?
Yes.
Anything?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird that I was creeped out that was your normal voice, Megan?
Let's see here. Yeah, no, that's going to be a 1 because I don't have a wisdom modifier. That's going to be a nat 1 on the 20. So I'm ready to go insane whenever you are.
Are ones really bad?
You are going to take 5 points of damage.
I feel that.
You feel it permeating through your mind.
Oh, fuck.
And everything for you goes black.
Okay.
For the rest of you, Ezra, you see that Barrick is about to press play. But then he stops. And he stands. And he turns towards you 3. And he just stands there.
Everything okay, Barrick? You're right. And Ezra's going to kind of slip his right hand into the pocket of his hoodie to pull out, again, his just wimpy little pocket knife and just kind of hang on to it loosely. His hands are like visibly shaking as he looks at this much taller, much stronger man.
You see Barrick just nod and walks out of the room.
Well, that wasn't fucking weird at all. Reginald, do you want to maybe go after him?
I'm already after him.
All right, cool. Miss Friesen, maybe we should go too, just so we don't get split up. Maybe you should grab his camera.
Actually, yeah. Carol was, as he was walking away, I mean, she's going towards the camera, curious to see what he was going to show us, and she was going to hit play.
And when you hit play, Barrick, your eyes open from everything going black. You feel your hands are restrained, your legs restrained against, and you're in pitch darkness. And all you hear and that's actually where we're going to end.
My heart can't take these games. I need to bow out now. I'm going to have cardiac arrest before then.
So, Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you guys for playing. You guys make this awesome, amazing game. You guys really make the game with you guys playing and all of that. So thank you. Thank you so much. We're just going to go do quick introductions. I'm just going to, you can find everyone in the description and a link to their YouTube if they have the YouTubes. Yeah, so first we'll start with Karen.
I'm kind of speechless actually right now. I'm like terribly freaked out. That was awesome. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, everybody. I don't have anything to plug. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say. I'm Karen. I was playing Carol. And I'm not going to sleep tonight, so that's great. Thank you very much. I will pass the torch.
Great. We'll just go clockwise. So next is Chad.
Hi guys. I'm officially freaked the hell out. Yeah, my name's Chad. I'm on this channel a lot. I might not be now because hey, I'm gonna die soon probably. But this has been an amazing game. I've loved playing Barrick, and I feel like every time that we get together and do these wonderful games, you guys have the tendency to make it so that I just thoroughly am tortured by the end of these games. It's so nice. But yeah, I'm on a number of different YouTube channels around the YouTubes, and primarily this one. But you can find me over at my own. And then also I'm in a podcast with my buddies Jeremy Lilly and Jeff Doty over at the Dudes of Yore. You can check those guys out too. They're pretty awesome. Yep, that's about it for me. I'm gonna go and not sleep and hold my eyeballs open. And I'm never touching a camera again because, good Lord, what have I done to myself? I've taken the one thing I love and turned it into the one thing I fear.
Oh, deep. Yeah, thanks. And then Jason.
Hello. I am Jason Osorio playing Ezra Cleave. Yeah, this was a fantastic session, and I didn't think it was possible to top the last one, but you definitely pulled it off, Megan. And of course, we have my excellent fellow players, I suppose. So thank you guys for making this so disturbing. I'm going to sleep fine, though. I swear that I will sleep okay because I have work tomorrow. But anyway, I do have a small YouTube channel of my own, Concepts and Characters, mainly just a place to store games that I played in. So check that out if you want. Not a huge deal. And again, just thank you to everybody involved in this. This has been a great experience, and I can't wait for session 3. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you. And finally, Jake.
Hey everybody, I'm Jake. I played Command Sergeant Major Reginald T. Cherry, retired. And I am having an absolute blast in these games. Nobody does creepy horror like Megan does. And this is a great group of people to play with. And I just love this dynamic that we have. That's not this, we're not this like group, this party. We're not the Scooby-Doo gang, we're not all like buddy, let's solve this mystery. We've clearly all got our problems. We're all in some way or another a little effed in the head. And some of us are a little more unstable than others, which makes it an incredibly fun dynamic to play out. And I'm excited that we are having to continue with more sessions. Because I want to keep playing with this group and in this scenario. I'm also known as Mini Terrain Domain, or MTD. You can find me on Twitter at MTD_Jake. You can find me over on YouTube at Mini Terrain Domain, where I just broke 8,000 subscribers this week. So if you're not subscribed, get on that journey to 10,000. So we'll see when that happens. But I will say this, whenever I do hit 10,000, I've got some really awesome giveaways planned. And also on the Twitch, where we're actually very soon, in the next couple of weeks, moving to Sunday nights. You can see Megan along with Mike Lasham, Marquise, and Drake, and I in the Tomb of Annihilation Cult of Personality game. I've got a new series coming on Monday nights called Review and Play, where we'll be playing some new systems. And the first mini campaign in that, surprisingly, doesn't have Megan in it. But coming up in just a couple weeks on Thursdays will be a mini campaign of the Sunless Citadel, which does feature Megan as one of the players. So, yeah, Megan, when she's not here, she's slumming over on the MTD channel. So come on over, check out MTD on Twitch for our live games. And if you like terrain crafting and live play games, check out the YouTube channel as well. And go to DriveThruRPG and buy yourself a copy of Crifoth.
Yes, I was just going to plug that. Thanks. And also thank you. The promo and our new opener is done by Jake. And I know we had thanked him before in the stream, but now he's here, so we can say thank you so much for doing that. It's so cool. But yeah, so go check out all these guys who have things, and they're an awesome group of people. I have such a blast playing with it. Horror, if you don't have that player involvement, that player buy-in, it is often very difficult to do. So the reason these games are fantastic is largely in part the players making it awesome. So thank you guys so much. And with that, go check out Crifoth. There'll be a link in the description. It's going to be available for both PDF and softcover now. So check that out if you'd like. And thank you very much. And everyone have a good night.
Spooky.
Spooky.